Okay, I got a request to take a look at Discus thrower from Germany, Clemens Prüfer. I don't speak German, but I'm sure that's close to how they say his name. From his Instagram, saw he had two different views. I don't know if it's the same throw or not, but here we can take a look from the 12 o'clock and from the 9 o'clock directions and see what we can see here. I'm just going to, as usual, go through and just give you my opinion of what I see and how I interpret it. It may or may not have anything to do with what he's actually trying to accomplish in him and his coach. So, let's start at the beginning. Video on the right starts a little bit sooner. Right there, he's put the right heel down, and you can see where the left or the right knee is here. So he's got both knees facing out from each other. But you'll watch that right knee, it's going to rotate out right here. This may be the maximum stretch he has right here. You should lock that knee and that hip in right there. But you can see that it's continuing to rotate back. So I don't know, it's because of the amount of flexibility he has or what, but you're losing some of your separation here when you do that. And we're going to see some of that come back a little bit later. Right about here. Okay, the right photo, you can see his hips are facing 12. You can see in the left photo, he doesn't have too much separation between his hips and his chest. He's pretty open. And is that a clue from right here? How his and the right photo or the right video here has his right knee moves out, like I was saying. Right there. Is that an indication of lack of flexibility? Okay, so coming back to the beginning here, let's take a look at this left video. I like to see the right leg fully extend up so you can drop down, but he has a slight bend in the leg, and he doesn't really bend or drop down at all for momentum to drive into the circle, probably because I believe he's pretty tall, like 5 or 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", or something around there. So he probably doesn't need to have too much momentum going into the circle. You can see here he's not dropping down at all. And now the left knee will fall in. He keeps the left arm in the right video with the left knee. I'm sorry, the left arm with the left knee. He's not throwing it out ahead. And let's see how they are at 6 o'clock. Okay, so he's got the left knee dropped down, facing the throwing sector at 6, and the left arm. So they're pretty much moving together, left arm and left knee. You'll see here on this the right video here, like the video I saw, or I did yesterday with Valerie Allman, you saw she had a vertical left thigh here, and you can see his thigh is already pushing forward, or the angle's forward, so, and the leg's almost straight, so he's not really going to get too much push off from here. You're going to see more of the push off from the foot, going from dorsiflexed here to where he comes off, and it's just a little bit plantar flexed here. It's right here. See the toes pushed out. So that's how he's getting his drive across, along with that right leg kicking forward, driving it into the circle. So those two working together. But yeah, not as much from the extension of his hips forward with the thigh going from vertical to angling forward. That's not giving him any drive there since it's already straight. Okay, what else do we have here? If you look at the left video, you can see his right foot is just about ready to drop down right here, but he lets it go another frame forward, and I think it gets too far forward to the left side of the circle, moves forward. See? I think if you could have dropped it down right here, that would have been better. So you can see when the heel turns, it's a little bit, yeah, see on the left side of the circle, you can see the sector lines here, or the cursor hand thing I've got here. It's about the middle, and he's a little bit off to the left of that. The reason I say that is later on I don't know if his lower body is out to the left, and he doesn't want that or not, and then he's extending way to the right, if that's part of it. But I like the drop right in the center, and especially don't float. Okay. When the right foot and the hips face 12 o'clock, like here, that's when I like to see that left elbow and left shoulder also facing 12 o'clock. So you can see how wide open he is. In the right video, you can kind of see how open. There's his chest. He's going forward, but the upper body is turning quite a bit. He doesn't wrap the left arm back across his chest. So I try to hold the upper body back. So he stays pretty open, almost like Daniel's stall here. But I think actually a lot more open. Okay. And if you watch the left, you can see how the left toe's down. I think the left toe's down right about here. And then the heel comes down. So right here, the left toe's down. He's a little bit open. Not too bad. The discus is in line with his shoulders and with the left elbow. So all in a straight line. So we'll see if he scoops down like we saw Valerie Allman do yesterday. See if the discus gets vertical. Not really. Not really. He keeps it wide. It's pretty much in line with his shoulders here. So we're not seeing any scooping there. So looking at the video on the right, left toes just drop down. See how the knee's almost coming back a little bit? And the toe and the heel, the foot is facing directly at 9 o'clock. I prefer to see that land a little bit more open, but again, it could be a flexibility thing. The more this knee is rotated back toward the back of the circle at 12, and the more the foot is aimed toward 9 or even back, the more he can keep his shoulders back if you're not as flexible. Okay, so now we watch the heel come down, and you can see I like to see the knee and the foot. See, the foot's a little bit more toward the throwing direction, but the knee is still only gone to the front of the camera, facing the camera at 9 o'clock here. So he's still pretty closed off with that left side. You can see what happens as the hips can shift forward from that. He never really has a solid bent left leg here, so he can extend up into it. It's just pretty much straight. It lands pretty straight from what I can see in both videos. So he does have when it's fully extended here, he's up on the toe, so he's pushing back. You do see the angle of the leg is back, so that's fine. So he can rotate around it. Just some of the differences I see with the other throwers. So he goes to a straight left arm here, and then he shortens it, bends it, and brings the left elbow around, gets the wrist down, really pulls around. Okay, now I'm going to watch the right foot. As soon as the left toes drop down, he continues to drive that right leg now, the right knee forward. Not really rotating the foot, but it's just coming along as the knee is driven forward there. Goes to a vertical right foot there. And right here, he's got both feet off the ground at the moment of release. You can see in the left video, I don't know if he's intentionally reaching, trying to increase that radius or not, from the center of where his spine would be, but he's definitely reaching out here to the right, trying to make that longer, I think. Hard to say. I don't know. Unless he does it every single time. Right here, I noticed if you watch the right foot, like we saw Valerie Allman yesterday, we saw that right foot get up on the toe, get vertical, and then slide forward with the hip. But you don't see the hip really sliding or driving forward too much here. It's like just this last moment. The foot comes off the ground and the right hip pops forward as the discus comes out. Okay. I usually like to see that hip ahead, maybe one frame before the discus comes out. But he does it at the same time, same motion. Discus has quite a bit of wobble if you watch it in the left video. I'm going to guess maybe that's from jumping in the air. Because as you're jumping, the discus isn't really changing its height. So it can come out. See how the discus is the angle? Let me try to get a line on it here. Okay. Hope you can see that yellow line. That's the angle of the discus. And then as we go forward one frame, you can see the angle's now a little bit more flatter. And that'll happen if you jump in the air. You're bringing the back of the discus up. And so the front's going to go down, and sometimes that'll result in a wobble. I think that's about everything I had that I was noticing. Yeah, really see that left knee has to rotate in, and as it rotates, the hips can shift forward. Because this position, I think, is not as strong, the left here, as like we saw Valerie Allman, where she has the knee and the foot both facing more towards the turning direction, so she can hold that hip back in a squatted position, and keeps you from the hips from driving forward. And then we have the final flip of the disc coming down, and then the wobble in the air. Great thrower. I think he took third just recently at a big meet, international meet. So somebody to watch, somebody to keep an eye on. All right, if you learned anything, please share and subscribe and click the notification button. Thank you. Thanks for watching.